The most important thing we can teach our students in classrooms can't be found in any textbook. We have a duty as teachers to not just teach, but to show our kids what it takes to be responsible and upstanding people in the world. High school is one of the most influential times in an adolescent's brain. This is when children are starting to make decisions that will affect them for the rest of their lives. This is when kids are starting to formulate thoughts and ideas of what they will be doing after school. Things such as college, trade school, careers, military are all things that these kids are thinking about at these times. Seeing how important these times are to the development of children's minds, it is vital that we are teaching our students about the importance of morals and character development. These are the most important lessons we can instill in our students' minds. Ideas lined out in the Compass Advantage should be a teacher's top priority. These lessons should include resourcefulness, creativity, empathy, curiosity, sociability, resilience, self-awareness, and integrity. By teaching kids these lessons, we will set them on a path for success in whatever they decide to do in their lives. There's an art to teaching kids these lessons with our everyday plans. For instance, sociability can be instilled by having students perform well thought out and put together speeches. By giving them an open lesson, they can fill their curiosity needs on a particular person or topic. For instance, since I'm on course to be a history teacher, I can have students do a report on a historical figure that has received a Medal of Honor. By giving an open concept assignment, it entices them to do research on someone that interests them. It could be a well-known figure, it could be a lesser-known person, or it could even be a relative of theirs. No matter who the figure is, it forces them to dive deeper into why they received that medal or the recognition. In fact, combining both of these topics, sociability and curiosity, it kills two birds with one stone. Creativity and resourcefulness can be taught through poster projects, or even having students do infograms, PowerPoint presentations, or any number of projects that allow the children to demonstrate their creative freedom. The other compass points, resilience, self-awareness, integrity, and empathy, may all be slightly more challenging to incorporate into lessons, but can be achieved if we as teachers use a little bit of our creativity. Integrity is involved in all assignments and tests. Students must present academic integrity in all work they do. For example, in order to receive credit for their work, they must do their own research and use their own words. This in itself is an example of them learning integrity. Resilience can be taught through difficult assignments. Yes, it may be harder for them to do, but it forces them to be more resilient and diligent in their research. In my opinion, self-awareness and empathy are possibly the most important things for young minds to learn. It is important for kids to have the awareness of where they stand and how to evaluate their position. Self-awareness means having the ability to step back and look at yourself from an outside perspective and make the best and smartest decisions. Finally, empathy allows for them to understand others' perspectives and points of view. By teaching these lessons early, it gives them the tools they need to be a caring human. All of these core values are lessons that can be taught in the classroom. However, there are other ways to learn these values in school through the use of community service days. In fact, one of the coolest things I've seen as a substitute teacher was at one of the high schools. On the seniors' last week of school, they dedicate one day to a community service project. All of the kids are assigned to a location and work for the community to give back to a town that has given them everything their entire lives.